In today's video, I'm going to talk about how I was able to pay off $80,000 of student debt in the time span of 5 years. When I graduated college, it was back in the first couple months of 2017. I started college in the fall of 2013. I went to college with zero idea as to what I wanted to do with my life, what type of career I wanted, or where I was going at all. But my parents heavily encouraged me to go away to college to experience life, as they did not get that opportunity to do as such. And I don't regret the opportunity that I had, the friends that I made, the experiences that I made as well. But I grew up playing soccer pretty much my whole life, and that was my identity, and I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life at all. I thought potentially I wanted to go into music, as I did that as well. And I ended up at a private university for my full 4 years living on site, room and board, all that good stuff, and racked up $150,000 of debt, not only in federal, but also private debt through Sallie Mae and Nelnet. And for those of you out there that have student debt, you know that Sallie Mae is the devil. They have some insane interest rates and prey on families like this that don't know what they're talking about, that don't know what they're doing. And my parents, from what I understand, knew no idea with what they were doing, had very poor financial sound decisions putting their son into this situation like this. Now, I don't put all the blame on them. They wanted me to live my life and to have these experiences, which again, I'm very happy for, but I think it could have been at a state university or something else. Nonetheless, it's the situation that I'm put into now, and I have to be able to figure out how to take the proper steps to be able to take the proper steps to be able to conquer this financial demon that I have over my head, or I've had on my back for many years. And if my upbringing and my family didn't have great financial understanding, I had virtually zero idea what I was getting myself into at that time frame. I went into college and I had a scholarship for $1,000, and at the ripe age of 17 and 18, I thought that was a lot of money, that I was getting paid to play a sport that I played all throughout my life. And obviously, now being an adult for however long it's been, I realized that that is pennies and dimes compared to the grand scheme of things. So fast forward, I got out of college, switched my major 4 or 5 times, still had zero idea what I wanted to do with my life. I putz around for a handful of years, taking random dead-end jobs that are manual labor, mind you, a manufacturing facility, a shipping and receiving facility, not using my bachelor's degree for anything, and unaware of my student debt payments would be coming very, very soon. So I believe it is about 2019 when I began getting calls from various collection agencies. My loans went into forbearance due to lack of payment. And again, I had zero idea that this was happening. I had no semblance of understanding of who these people were, why were they coming after me, different things like that. And my mother didn't inform me on any of this information either. My grandmother was my co-signer, and she was getting mail from Sallie Mae for years as well, and told me initially, but I just thought she was spouting some random nonsense. I'm going to be honest, I had no idea what was going on. So I call these people, and all my debt was put into collections. And this is when I found out about credit score, as my credit score was at an all-time low. It was terrible. And I had to go through so many hoops to get these loans out of collections back into a proper channel where I could actually pay them off. And once I was able to do that, the payments monthly were, I want to say, around $1,200 a month combined, being the federal debt with Nelnet and the private debt with Sallie Mae. The private debt with Sallie Mae was a little over $100,000 at the time, and the federal debt was at $42,000. So a grand total of about $142,000 was what I started off with. After having multiple conversations with Sallie Mae, and Nelnet. I was able to defer all of the Nelnet payments based on an income-driven base plan, as I was making like $16 an hour at the time, which obviously doesn't do anything for me at all. So that one was good for an extended period of time, and has been up until very recently. The Sallie Mae loans were at around anywhere between 5 to 12% interest rate on, I believe it was 6 loans at the time. And I held that like that for about, I want to say it was 2 years. I was able to keep that afloat. Obviously, it's not sustainable. I was living with my mother at the time then as well. Eventually, I moved out with a friend, but again, quickly realized that that was not a sustainable platform that I could actually use in order to make any type of headway on this debt. So fast forward to 2021 December, I get my first non-manual labor job as a recruiter. I'm making $40,000 a year as a salary. Commission is there, but it is very small. I think in that year I made about $20,000 of commission, working 12 hours a day, every single day for 5 days a week. So putting in a lot of hours with not a lot of return. Maybe I was just not that good at it, but after being in this field for as long as I have now, I just know that that company didn't pay very well, which it is what it is. It was my very first gig in the field, so you can't expect a whole lot. Now, past that, during this time, I was doing some research on how can I better attack this, right? So I refinanced and merged all of those different loans, as I had 6 different ones, into one through a different company called Mohela, or Laurel Road, I believe was the other name for it. So I was able to merge all of those together into one, having just one payment of $650 a month, cutting it pretty much in half, a little bit over half, with an interest rate of, I believe, the interest rate is 5.35%. So before I merged over to Mohela, I paid it down to just shy of $80,000 at the time. So we took down about $20,000 in that time frame with Sallie Mae. I was doing the avalanche method, which I believe is best described as attacking the largest loan first, and then after taking that one down, you go highest base amount or highest interest, whichever one you want to go with. I was going with the highest interest one because that's what's going to hurt me the most in the long term, is if you don't get rid of the highest interest, then obviously over time that will hurt you more than if you attack one with less interest, clearly. So that's what I did. I was able to pay off $20,000 with $16 an hour, just cutting corners. Living with a parent obviously helps out a ton, which is again why I'm back here again. But after the merge, I got it down to, again, just shy of $80,000. So we were down about $20K, which is good in the matter of 2 years. I did about $10,000 a year, but it could have been a lot more. So this is where the majority of all of my debt paying off has come from, is in this time frame. So when I first started with this, I was at 78K. And now I am at 38K. And starting with, it was basically 2022 to now, so 2026, I paid off this $40,000. And what I did is, the main thing is to make a budget, understanding where all of your money is going to. And truthfully, I could have done a lot better with this as well. I still wanted to live my life to a certain degree, and I definitely did. I moved out in 2023 to a much more, well, it was a location closer to the job that I had. So saving time on gas, or saving money on gas, saving time on the drive. But then I also had a monthly payment for rent as well, and other expenses, which I could have been putting towards the student debt. But having a budget helps you to understand exactly where all of your money is going. And then you can take all the excess amount of funds that you have and throwing it towards the principal. I've found that during just regular monthly payments, if you just do that, you're going to be stuck with this basically forever. And it's incredibly crippling and mind-numbing to think that way, as a $650 payment every single month is a lot. And I have a personal goal of wanting to create financial wealth for my family and my life and my kids. I want to set them up for success in a way that they don't ever have to go through what I'm going through right now. being at 31, living with your mother in their house is incredibly shameful and demoralizing, because you see all these people in their lives and living it, loving it, and enjoying it, and wanting to be able to be a part of that as well. But those people are very successful and don't have any debt, and not to say that they haven't worked hard, they definitely have. It's just a different hand that I was dealt, and I need to focus in even more to be able to get to their level, which is just the path that's been laid out for me. And we've done a great amount of work so far to get to this point, but dialing in and really getting granular with your greatest asset, which is your income, to be able to take care of the debt as soon as possible, to be able to live that life that I want to live, that I talked about in the first video. I want to be able to provide for my loved ones, not even just myself, but I would love to be able to pay off debt from my mother as well, as she's racked up quite a bit of debt in her time too. But again, the main thing is creating a budget, from my experience, knowing where your money's going, not eating out a ton. I mean, in the COVID years, my goodness, ordering DoorDash or Grubhub or Uber Eats or whatever it was, that stuff is expensive. Not splurging it on countless things that don't matter. And I'm very victim of this, or guilty of this, as I have a lot of tattoos and I love tattoos, but definitely need to take a step back on that as well. Or various hobbies that are really expensive, such as gaming, going on trips, whatever it is. I want to be able to experience and do those things as well. And setting aside a little bit of money for those is probably all right. And I have done that in the past. And I try to have a mindset of having both, but perhaps leaning into it more in an aggressive sense is the way to do it for the next year or so. Which is the mindset, or the goal, that I've been thinking about recently of how I want to actually get rid of this. Is I want to pay off the remainder of this $38,000 within a year time frame, so August 2027. And the way that I'm going to go about doing this is two things: a very clear and concise budget, and then improving my greatest asset, which is my income. So how do you do that, right? From my perspective, the best way to go about doing that is getting a new job, or one that just pays more, or has better opportunity for growth, or a more sustainable balance. And what I mean by that is, for me, I drive an hour one way every single day for work right now. My base salary is $53,000, and last year I made commission up to bringing me in a $85K, was about what I made in the year of 2025. For those of you who don't know, when it comes to recruiting, commission is make or break in terms of your income. Obviously, that was about, well, it wasn't half of my income, but definitely could have been. So finding a different role that offers more opportunity for income to boost it up, as that's your greatest asset in order to help pay off the debt. And in recent times, my employer has dropped down significantly in terms of earning opportunity, which is very detrimental to my personal goals. I moved back home to spend less money on rent so I could spend more money towards this. That's the whole reason why I moved back home, because I want to attack this as quickly as I possibly can so I can move on and live the life that I have set or in my mind for myself. So in the future videos, I'm going to talk a bit more about what my journey has looked like for looking for a job. I've been doing this for the past about 2 months now, of applying aggressively to try to find better opportunities to help supplement this issue. Again, the main goal right now is to pay off all of my student debt for my private loans within this next year, which I think is a very attainable goal at $38,000 within 1 year. And I'll achieve this by getting a new job that pays more money, that offers remote opportunities, hopefully. So I'm spending less money on gas as well, wear and tear in my car, more time for videos like this, or investing in potential other avenues to earn more income. And then a very clear and concise budget, as I mentioned a moment ago as well. Understanding exactly where my money is going every single paycheck, so I can invest it in the most accurate way to pay off the debt in the most effective amount of time. Student debt is a crippling thing in this society, especially for someone who knows nothing about it. And I would love to know, am I the only one out there who has had a situation like this? Has anyone gone through student debt, not knowing anything about it, who had their loans in forbearance, who had to go through all these hoops to find out what was going on? I would love to know that I'm not alone in this world when it comes to this, and I know I'm not, but being able to see the comments and know versus just understanding that it's out there in the ether, right? So yeah, please let me know. What's your student loan payoff journey looked like so far? I'd love to hear some type of stories or whatever it may be. But this is my plan for right now, for this next year. And who knows, maybe if it goes really well, I can go even to the federal debt. But yeah, please let me know in the comments what your thoughts are on this. If you've gone through a similar situation or what your experience has been like with student loans. And I will see you next week.